Hello friends, this is Strawberry Jelly and...
Nice.
Few moments later.
I got HU TAO! Oh my god! That's so exciting! As such, today I will be restoring HU TAO's honor and setting the record straight once and for all. She actually doesn't want to marry Qiqi. Why? Let's find out. We're going to look at why HU TAO is so misunderstood and how she has actually already made up with some well-known characters in the game that seem to inexplicably hate her. Oh, and what about all those Halloween vibes I'm getting from her? Does anybody else feel this way? But first, if you're new to the Jelly Gang, let me remind you that you need to hydrate yourself throughout the day. Please consider subscribing for more content like this, and if you're already subscribed, kindly jingle all my bells to get notifications when I upload a new video. Let's get started! Let's start by looking at why HU TAO is so misunderstood.
If you ask me, there's nothing hard or scary about working at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. It's just a pain is all. It's a shame others see us going out to work at night and just don't understand. That's what scares them. You all just don't understand.
Yet, as many pranks as she might pull on people, she never jokes about death because she understands more than everybody the value and the severity of it.
Balance must be maintained, and yet destinies remain variable. Death has its own rules, and yet is still hard to predict. Remember, no matter where, no matter when, no matter what the reason, one should never poke fun at death. Only once you know and respect death can you truly understand the value of life.
HU TAO might joke about having good business at the funeral parlor, but as you will hear, she only sees fighting as a means to an end. Not to get more corpses for her job, she only fights for what she thinks is just, aka protecting her own ideals.
Fighting's a pain. For me, it's not an objective so much as a means to an end. Using the means to reach the end, to fight for that which I will not compromise on. It's in this way that you and I are the same.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs is guarded by two lifelike stone lions, a symbol of power and authority. However, HU TAO, who happened to be passing by the ministry building one day, saw them in a different light. At first, she examined the lions with a thoughtful look, but soon enough, her pensive face gave way to a wide smile. From that moment on, HU TAO often visited and petted the stone statues. Not only would she talk to them, but also give them pet names. Whiskers, the one on the left, and Mittens for the one on the right. On occasion, she would even bring a bucket of water and a big brush to bathe them. Each move so careful and deliberate that one might think that they were her actual pets. As it happened, another feline, a living and breathing calico cat, could be found enjoying the local delicacies in front of Xingqiu kiosk, not too far from the ministry building. One day, some city folk came to play with the restaurant's favorite, providing an interesting foil for HU TAO's peculiarities. Met with the fuddled gazes of the bystanders, HU TAO showed unwavering confidence. Sure, your kitty's cute, but the same can be said about my whiskers and mittens. Their fur might be harder, but they're still just as fluffy. Any animal that brings people joy may become a pet. Suffice to say that this explanation was met with even greater confusion from the onlookers. Yet the group of people shocked the most and most often by HU TAO's antics were the ministry guards. Once they had reluctantly gotten used to her presence, HU TAO discontinued her visits. That meant that the responsibility for cleaning the statues fell on the guard's shoulders once again. Subsequently, they decided to keep guard by the lions for many days, anticipating HU TAO's return. Once they finally had the opportunity to ask her why she would not visit anymore, they received the most absurd of answers. Whiskers and Mittens are adults now and can take care of themselves. Excuse me, I'm running late for my heart-to-heart with the statue of the Seven regarding the meaning of life. Not long after her initial meeting with the little zombie, HU TAO decided that as her self-proclaimed true friend, she should grant Qiqi's eternal peace. HU TAO would go on to kidnap Qiqi several times following much deliberation in every instance, including calculating the most auspicious time for the ceremony, aiming to follow the standard procedure of cremation, after which she would place Qiqi in a tomb on the outskirts of the city. In fact, she would have succeeded already if not for Baizu's timely interventions. Each time the Boo Boo Pharmacy's owner managed to catch up with them, HU TAO had already had Qiqi packed in a bag, with only her head sticking out, staring in outer confusion as HU TAO was vigorously digging a hole for the pyre. Afterwards, HU TAO sent Qiqi an apology letter in which she expressed deep regret that she had not been able to lead Qiqi to rest fast enough. In HU TAO's eyes, Qiqi passed away a long time ago, but has been trapped in this world and cannot free herself of her eternal suffering. Baizu, for his part, had grown even more relentless in his pursuit of eternal life after meeting Qiqi. This act of defiance against the circle of life and death was unacceptable to HU TAO. She wanted to bury Qiqi not only out of consideration for her friend, but also to restore the natural order. But Qiqi could not disagree more, as she was afraid of death and disliked HU TAO for her attempts. Because the struggle between HU TAO and her had been going on for so long, Qiqi has experienced a breakthrough. She has started to remember places where she might hide to avoid being captured by HU TAO. Perhaps it was due to those desperate survival efforts that HU TAO decided to do something unusual and dig deeper into Qiqi's past. The story of her accident and the mystery of the Adepti, the series of consequences, filled HU TAO's heart with hesitation. Since Qiqi's will to live is so strong, she should not be forced to move on. Given the circumstances, she could only be treated as a rare exception that eludes the natural laws. Ever since, HU TAO's attitude towards Qiqi has changed drastically, to the point where she would pamper her. Unfortunately, the damage has already been done, and HU TAO has become Qiqi's bugbear. The little zombie may need several years more to let go of her grievance. So, as you can see, even though HU TAO did in fact want to bury Qiqi for legit reasons, according to her, she was able to look into Qiqi's stories, reflect on herself, and change her views. This shows that she is capable of growth and understanding when she's doing something wrong. In contrast, Baizu doesn't really care about Qiqi. He just wants to discover the secret to immortality, and so his motives have become more clear with this extract. As you might remember from my previous video on HU TAO, both Xingqiu and Chongyun had strong opinions against HU TAO. The following extract, I believe, takes place in the future and shows how these characters have made up with each other. HU TAO is not in fact best known for her role as director, but for her other great accomplishment, the creation of poetry. The Xingqiu is HU TAO's most famous work, well loved not only by the people of the harbor, but ever on the lips of the children as far as Qinci village as well. Hobbyists and critics alike were greatly surprised by the simple but profound originality of the Xingqiu and its creation, and went to one book house in droves to search for the works of this great poet. Xingqiu, ever immersed in his books, also wanted to meet this strange person, and so chose an auspicious day to visit, bringing a gift with him. The two hit it off immediately, and they exchanged pointers and impromptu poetry in Wangshan Main Hall. And when faced with the poetry of Xingqiu's traditional, artistic bent, HU TAO could always return in kind with some strange and marvelous verse. At length, the poetic spar ended amiably, and they have been friends ever since, reading and composing poetry with one another when they have the time to meet. Over time, Chongyun too was pulled in to serve as an umpire, their laughter filling the streets. If ever you should hear a pair of matched verses, one strict and the other playful, you are most likely to have heard one created jointly by HU TAO and Xingqiu. So before closing this video, I just want to add my own thoughts about her design and presentation. I think the reason why I really like her so much is because she has those spooky Halloween vibes. Like from her soundtrack to her poses, she just gives me like a trick or treat vibe. Furthermore, her ghost is the principal Halloween symbol, with its face design reminding me more of the pumpkin cravings that we usually do around that time of the year. And the cherry on top is of course her saying, "Why?" I love that she's trying to scare you. When I first saw her character trailer, I immediately thought of Nightmare Before Christmas because John Skellington also has a ghost pet. His name is Zero. Coincidence? I don't think so. Also, the blue wisps and the nighttime atmosphere really help too to force that feeling. I personally really like Halloween. It's such a fun time of the year and I love dressing up, and having a character that just screams, Halloween with her personality and design presentation is amazing. Did she give you any Halloween vibes? Please let me know. So that was all for the day. Thank you for watching and I hope you found this video helpful. Has your opinion on HU TAO changed or has it remained the same? Please let me know in the comments below. Regardless, I have done my part in letting the world know more about her backstory and lore. If you're pulling for her, I do hope that you get her, so good luck. This is Strawberry Jelly and I will see you next time. Bye!